You know, I used to think I was dumb, but I discovered that I'm not dumb at all. No, I just suffer with a developmental disorder characterized by an ongoing pattern of one or more of the following types of chronic symptoms: attention difficulty, hyperactivity, and impulsiveness. Because I have ADHD!
That's the problem. Everybody's dancing. Yeah, I lie, I cheat, and I steal. But at least I'm honest about it. Bully for you. Well, while you're down there, love, whatever happens. No, honey, I just took my bra off. I'm in for the night. Who took my stapler? Soccer moms. Soccer mamas. I did True West with Sherman Helmsley. I bet the board is spelled B-O-R-E-D. Don't talk about the war. Have a nice day. Don't tell me what to do. I'm just a simple caveman, Your Honor. That's not my bag, baby, I swear. And don't call me Shirley. Establishment, you always know what's best. Shake harder, boy. There's doings a-transpiring. The jerk store called, and they're all out of you. No bow would be better than that bow. Oh, baby. Business is about to pick up. In my heart, I know that I'm funny. 5, but it's thick. Such a fine line between clever and stupid. Lieutenant Steve! Lieutenant Steve! Now I'm about to choke you. And don't you dare try to defend yourself. I didn't hear no bell. One of these days, Alice. One of these days. This calls for a little bit of the bubbly. ADHD, ADHD, ADHD. Come have ADHD with me.
Oh, what up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Harry Has ADHD. I am Harry Turjanian, your host. This is a show, a mental health comedy podcast, where we try to cure ADHD every week. We never seem to get to it. I'm always a little behind. Hopefully, some people. There we go. He's got some people chiming in. I'm trying to go on another social media network. I'm not allowed to name it. I was able to do this previously, and now I can't do it now. Oh, there we go. All I had to do was go to device camera and flip it. This is a horrible way to start a show again, but this time around, I think we'll get it. I think we'll get it this time around. There we go. And for some reason, you guys want to mirror my stuff. I don't like it. Welcome. I'll try to solve that. Welcome to Harry Has ADHD. That's a mental health podcast that we're doing here, and so it's something where I'm trying to help people, trying to have fun with it. I'm not sure quite how this show is working. I don't know if anyone ever gets helped with any of it. I always try to cure ADHD. And okay, there we go. Bear with me 1 second, guys, as I put this up there. Oh, man. I want to show you what I'm wearing, my stomach and stuff. 1 second. And this is going to make sense when we start this. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to this other platform, which I'm not allowed to mention because we're not allowed to mention other platforms because everybody hates it. Everybody hates it if you mention another platform. Oh, is there a second camera here? Oh, God. There we go. I don't know what you're trying to do. There we go. So, all right, finally, we're starting the show. Record time here. I decided to go on after the other podcast I do with Dante Nero, which is called the Man School 202 podcast. There we go. We got some people coming in. Anthony DeRosa. Drossos. I always keep saying DeRosa because of my friend Joe DeRosa, who has a fantastic special out. Again, I am currently plugging things for other people who are more successful and do not need the plugs. I guess fake it till you make it. But this is, again, a comedy mental health podcast. Today's topic about fixing people with ADHD. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't have any kind of doctor. I don't even think I'm a fake doctor. I'm not even one of those con artist doctors that opens up a clinic, that they just open up a neighborhood clinic where you can, they're just doing dental work. Every once in a while, there's one of those guys, right, that gets arrested. I feel like there was a lot more. Maybe social media has led on to it. Maybe Yelp. Maybe Yelp has fixed, kind of fixed that, you know? Because I don't think you can have a fake dental office that can last very long if you you have Yelp there. Word is going to get around, is all I'm saying. But I am not a medical doctor, not claiming to be one, just somebody who suffers, who survives, who tolerates ADHD. But all people with all mental illnesses are working. Let's get some music in this. I don't know if people like the background music or not, but I kind of like it. It gives it a little bit of a vibe. And I'll tell you what it also does. It also lets me know that I'm not just talking to myself, you see, because if I'm talking, it's just me, if it's just me, then I feel like I'm just doing this at home to nobody. But if I have the music on in the background, then now we're like kind of, it's a real show. It's a real show. So, all right, today's topic. Yes, we have a topic. This is supposed to be a show, and today's topic is this week we're discussing how technology has impacted the way people do therapy. Does technology make therapy more accessible? Is this a good idea? Is it better than no therapy at all? And also, does it replace regular or talk therapy, things like that? And now the way this started to me, I was doing stand-up. I'm also a stand-up comedian. I should let you know that. I was doing a show, and I have a bit about my parents not doing therapy because immigrants. My parents don't do therapy because immigrants do not do therapy. They don't believe in therapy. Immigrants don't do therapy. Latinos don't do therapy. Black people don't do therapy. The people who experience the most trauma in this country are never the ones going to therapy. You know who does the most therapy in this country? Spoiled rich kids. Trust fund babies are the ones going to a therapist to pay $400 an hour to complain about how difficult their lives are. My father embarrassed me at the Maserati dealership. I haven't been able to go skiing in weeks. But my parents needed the therapy. They needed therapy. And they did not get it. And still refuse to acknowledge it. Although they're very quick. The irony is people who... it's so funny. The people who need therapy the most are always the first ones calling somebody else crazy. And my dad is up there. He calls my mom crazy. And he's not wrong. My mom is crazy. But I try to explain to my dad that just because she is crazy does not mean he's not crazy. Both of you. Two things could be true at the same time, and both of you are crazy. That's a fact of the world that we need to acknowledge. So I was doing that bit, and I was talking to people in the audience, and there was actually a therapist in the crowd. And she said that people have started doing therapy. They've started doing therapy online. This is a thing. I didn't know this. People are using ChatGPT to do therapy. And I'm blown away by this. I've used ChatGPT. I know we're all scared of the whole ChatGPT thing, right? We're all scared of it, and I get why. I have my feelings. About it. I'm not as scared as I once was, partly because we haven't even figured out how to properly use the technology we have now, let alone the technology for ChatGPT. Like when you use Waze, for example, I was like that Waze just picks a bunch of different options. Like if you ever try to look up, if you want to go to a Target, and you plug that into Waze, and Waze gives you every option except the Target that you're looking for. Like the one in the closest town that you're like, wait, I know there's a Target around here. I remember there was a Target. It'll give you every option except that one, which is it's a strange choice. Like, well, let's see, Waze. Which Target would I like to go to? Do I want to go to the Target that's within 2 miles of my house, or the one in Houston, Texas? Which one? You tell me, Waze. Do I want to go to the Target that I don't know the exact address, but I've been going to that Target at least like once a month for the last 5 years, or do I want to go to the one on Jupiter? You tell me what you think. So I'm not as scared of ChatGPT. I've used it occasionally, not so much as when I write comedy. I will not, I don't write jokes with it. I know that's a thing people can do. The jokes are hot garbage. And the beauty of ChatGPT, I don't think it will replace people creatively fully. I don't believe it, because you don't have the mental illness it takes to go into show business, which is a requisite. There's got to be some type of haunting mental illness that you feel the need to either cover up who you are by playing different characters or getting on a stage and trying to get validation from people. Let's in the chat for a second. Would you believe that after my mom passed away, I found out she was on some the same medication as me? Sometimes black people figure it out. They're starting to figure it out. More black people are doing therapy, but that's a new development. That's not something that used to happen before. Black people are just starting. I mean, they're just like, and even then, like some black people. And also, I think there are more black people who do therapy than we know, but nobody wants to let that out. Not in the black community. Definitely not in the Latino community. You start telling people you're doing therapy, then people start respecting your opinions less. It's very odd. It's very odd. Unemployed alcoholics start judging you in your family. If you come from a Latino family like I do, and you dare to say that you're visiting a doctor to try to improve yourself, and all of a sudden, a guy who has 3 cars but 2 of them are on blocks starts thinking you're fishy. They start wondering if you've got it all together. I'm not thinking of anyone in particular. By the way, I have a lot of all of my family. Let me fix this. Oh no, camera down. Oh, I hate you. This is the whole name of it. Even though the whole name is backwards now. I can't say which platform it is, but I can't imagine they would tolerate this in China. That's all I'm saying. Let's see. Would you believe? Yeah, that's true, says Xavier. I don't know if anyone wants to talk about their experiences. I hope I get a diverse following here on the on my different social media platforms. Doing therapy is always a tough racket when you come from a Latino family. They're just very judgmental. Like the idea that you would go into therapy all of a sudden means that you're nuts and crazy. It means that you're guilty somehow, which I find fascinating that people would view it that way. It's also the same way, though. People are generally emotionally dumb, even when they're smart. There's a lot of people who are emotionally dumb. They're the type of people who already, because if you've been arrested or are on trial, you're guilty. You must have done something, which is a stupid way to be. It's very stupid. Aside from that, okay. So now, for those people who do want to improve themselves. Some people don't even have access to therapy. That's the other thing. That's the other reason Latinos and black people don't do therapy, is in this country, only the richest of the rich get to kind of openly have access to that therapy. And, we don't need to go into politics. Well, we know who's got the money. There's a reason Tejano music didn't get as far as it should have, I guess, is what I'm going to say. Hip hop's doing pretty well. But white folk are really trying to step that down. They're desperately trying to squash that down. But to no avail. It's not happening. Hip hop is here to stay. I don't think it's a passing fad. I don't believe it's like that jazz or rock and roll music. But here we go. Therapy. I think part of the problem is a lot of people don't have access to therapy either. And that's why they're resorting to this, because we just don't have the funds that we're supposed to have. We just don't. I don't want to get into politics because this is not that type of show. And then I also don't want to get shadow banned, because every time I go into politics, what happens is you can guess who. They've got red hats on, but they get annoyed. They get really, really annoyed that I have I don't agree with their stupid politics. And that's another group of people that need a lot of therapy. All right, we have a point to the show. Stay on track, Harry. Stay on track here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to stay on track. I'm fixing things with these multiple platforms, and it's killing me slowly. So, people are using ChatGPT to do therapy. I did not anticipate. I don't know why that didn't occur to me as an option. And this is a phenomenon I just found out about a couple days ago. I should have done research, but I have ADHD, so I didn't do that. Instead, I was watching a series called Letterkenny about just these, I guess, these hayseeds in Canada. It's a really funny show, and also its sister show Shoresy. They're just up in Canada, and it's very strange and weird. And I can't tell you more about it. I'll tell you to go watch it, but I don't even know if I like the show, and yet I love the show. I don't know if that makes sense. If there's a show out there that you enjoy watching and you're not sure why, does that happen to a lot of people, or is that just me? Let's see in the chats here. There's a taboo in Latino culture, like you're less of a man for getting help. Yeah, that's always the first thing people chip away at. Everything is you're less of a man. You know, you're trying to improve your life. You're trying to break the cycle of violence that your alcoholic father started. Why? Because you're not a man. You're not a man, so you don't drink your problems and then drive an Eldorado into a wall again. Now you're not a man, essay. Yeah, there's a lot of that. Everything is you're less of a man. You're going to college? You're going to college now to learn how to read instead of working at a factory that you can't stay at because they do drug testing because you're less of a man, Holmes. And there's nothing more manly than providing for your family and not failing everybody and showing up and ruining every family gathering. Which also Latinos, here's just a side note about Latinos. Immigrants as a whole, but Latinos especially. What do you got to do to get on the no-fly list for the barbecue? What do you got to do? Because I feel like it goes a long way. There's just fist fights happening. People getting shoved into trees and stuff. It's always one person has too much to drink. They start talking a lot of crap, and then another person who can't just let things go because you're not a man, because you walk away from an alcoholic. And then the barbecue is ruined. There's nobody gets. What do you got to do? What do you got to do to get banned from the barbecue? Start hitting on people's wives, and then every time, why hold? Here's where I break the cycle. If this happens, I'm done with the barbecues. Nobody. I'll go to TGI Fridays. I'll eat in peace. And I'll watch ESPN on one of the 17 walls without having to break a fist fight between two cousins because one guy got his cowboy boots stepped on. Now that's not my family. That's more of a West Coast family. I'm kind of. My family was in Queens, New York, but they were pretty ghetto. They had roosters. Not on a farm. I'm talking in an apartment complex. They had several roosters. And believe it or not, even in the city, the roosters get up very early to the delight of nobody. Oh yeah, here's a bunch of lists. There we go. Xavier here joining us and listing a bunch of things that make you less of a man here. Being an atheist, not believing in God. Okay, yeah, that'll make you less of a man. What? You don't want to join a cult, essay? Huh? You want to give 10% of money you don't have to pay for lawyers to fight kid-touching cases? You don't want to tithe to help the Vatican move around priests from location to location because you're not a man, essay? Treating women with respect. You don't want to. Let me. What's the matter with you, Holmes? Huh? You don't want to ask a woman if she's okay with stuff, huh? You don't want to ask her how she's feeling, Holmes? Why? Because you're less of a man, that's it. Because you don't got. Yeah, there's a lot of that in the Latino culture. It's annoying. It's a little bit annoying. It is one of those cultures where people have flaws, and nobody admits that they have flaws. Nobody admits any of it. Yeah, in my family, we needed the therapy, and my dad still to this day. Oh, yeah, maybe I told this story. And my dad's Armenian. He's not even Ecuadorian, but it's all the same crap. It's just, these guys come to this country. The immigrants come to this country. Look, I'm pro-immigrant. I'm a Latino. I'm proud of that. I'm an Armenian. Proud of that. I'm not. But I will say there's a little bit of like, I'm not saying you have to become white, but, there's something. It's amazing when immigrants choose to assimilate to stuff. My dad is like, oh, we don't do that. Oh, yeah? Do they have Netflix over in Istanbul? When you grew up, did they have that? Because you seem to want to use that. You have my password. I don't even have my password. How'd you log into my Netflix? How'd you do it? You figured it out, didn't you? Oh, I don't. Also, here's another thing immigrants will do. Immigrants will pretend that they're dumb and don't speak English when they want to get out of doing stuff. My parents. Not I don't mean like working immigrants. I mean parents. Immigrant parents do this. Immigrant parents will pretend that they don't know stuff or they don't know English when it's convenient for them. You know, oh, I don't speak English. I don't understand. Like, why do you sound like Dracula all of a sudden? You've been in this country 50 years. When are you going to lose the Transylvania accent? Like, oh, it's easy for you because you understand the language. But when I go to the store, I don't know what people are saying. I don't understand. But you speak English, so maybe you can take my car to the mechanic to get the wheels realigned, please. And also, when you're there, tell them there's a sound coming from the rear passenger side. Not the driver's side, the passenger side. Anyway, snow Latinos. Yes. Snow Latino. What is that for? Is that like a coconut where you're brown on the outside, white on the inside? Or is that a Latino that likes to be with white women? What is that? Xavier. I need to learn this phrase. Xavier's saying that there's snow Latinos. If you could comment on that. I don't want to take further guesses. Those would be my only two guesses. Or is that like a Tony Montana thing? Not Tony Montana. Fine actor. But Tony Montana thing where you're a snow Latino because you're getting high on your own supply, I see. They will think that you're crazy. Yeah. Immigrants will absolutely. Andre Polino, Dominican. Yeah, they think you're crazy. Because you're trying to make things better. Oh, God forbid you try to make things better. Poor Andre. Yeah, Dominicans ain't doing no therapy. Why you need therapy? Just turn the music louder. You don't need therapy when you got salsa. It's ridiculous. Or a rat. Oh, they'll think you're a rat. Some David Roque. I know David. I forget what your last name is. I should wear glasses, but if I wear glasses, it glares. Over here. It's too late. I already, for continuity, I can't edit it with glasses, so I'm not reading. Marco! Oh, man. Marco Boxing. Check out. Marco has a great channel, too. And thank you for calling me handsome. That goes a long way. Yeah, you're either crazy or a rat, apparently. Even people who are not committing crime, they think you're a rat, I guess. It's just every excuse not to change things. There's a lot of machismo. And listen, I'm proud to be a man, but, like... You know, part of being a man is not ruining everyone's good time because you don't understand why you're so angry because your pops didn't hug you. Let's see. Russians and Armenians are white people. Latinos, very similar. Well, depends on who you ask. If Armenians... Russians, I will say, are white people. A little different than white people, but they're white people. Armenians, they're in the Middle East there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. They're in the Middle East. When I tan, I'm not a white person. Just saying. The Kardashians are not the best example of Armenians. You go over there, you eat that food. There's olives and everything. That ain't white folk. White folk aren't jamming olives and figs into all that stuff. So let's not. You know, I'm not. I don't buy that the Armenians are white people. Russians, I'll give you. They're very white. Although here's the other thing with Russians, though. Russians are a little mixed. They're so close to China. You ever see like a Russian guy who's really Russian, but he's got features that are clearly Chinese, like he's Asian, but he's born in Russia because it's right next to each other. So there's a lot of mixing. There's a lot of mixing there among immigrants. I will say, going back to Dominicans, I do love that Dominicans, dark-skinned Dominicans, pretend like their parents didn't do the nasty with somebody over in Haiti. It's one island. It's just literally separated by like a line of tape, like an I Love Lucy episode. But Dominicans are I know black. No, I know black. Like, bro, you black. It's fine. You could still eat tostones. You could be black and eat yuca or whatever. There ain't no law. I ain't hear no bell. What was I talking about? Oh, that's right. ChatGPT. People are using ChatGPT. All right, get on track, Harry. You're supposed to be helping people cure their ADHD. It's a lot of pressure for somebody with no medical. By the way, if you're watching this, do me a favor. If you've on whatever platform you're on, please like and subscribe this whole Mamma Jamma. It moves it forward. And share this with a person who you know is mentally ill. And don't act like you don't know somebody who's mentally ill. Just share it. I don't expect them to watch it because mentally ill people don't want to help themselves. The only one who's attempted to do therapy, who's done therapy, who's on medications. My middle brother's not doing it. He's not doing therapy. I got two brothers. One's a drug dealer, and one is a drug dealer, and then one is a retired drug dealer. So, that lets you know where they're at. I'm not going to tell you which one is which, but there is one brother who lifts weights 3 times a day. And I said, why are you lifting weights 3 times a day? He goes, you got to be ready for them. I go, ready for who? He goes, for anybody. Okay, no therapy. 0 therapy. One time, me and my dad, this is when we were still getting along, and I didn't know he was an idiot and a jerk. Which he is. I don't have time to go into that. Believe me. Just believe me. You're watching me. Believe me. You don't know my dad. He doesn't have a podcast. You know me. I'm in front of you. Would a man who put this much effort into his studio, would he be a jerk and a liar? No. One time me and my dad, we were at a beach together, and it was getting late, and we're drinking. He was drinking beers. I don't drink. But he was drinking a beer, and it was kind of like a nice father and son moment. And me and my dad, he leaned over to me and put his arm on my shoulder. He said, son, I wish I could have done more for you kids. I wish I could have accomplished something more. I wish I'd been a lawyer or a doctor. My dad, he goes, I wish I'd been a lawyer or a doctor, something successful so I could leave you guys something. And I said, well, Dad, you don't have to feel that way. I mean, you gave me the gift of life. I mean, if you had become, I said, Dad, if you had gone on and become a lawyer or a doctor, your life would have changed and I wouldn't be here. So in a way, you've given me the greatest gift of all, the gift of life. So you never have to feel sorry, Dad, that you didn't become something more successful in your eyes. You never have to feel sorry about that. My dad took a long pause, and he just said, yeah, but I could have been a doctor, I could have been a doctor. Yep. No therapy. Immigrants 1, therapy 0. Okay. Now, we talked about people who don't do therapy, which is Black and Latino people. I'm going to gather that the people doing therapy over on ChatGPT, I don't feel like that's going to be a very diverse group of people either. If I had to guess, I just can't anticipate people of color on the computer engaging with a. Listen, if you don't want to do therapy with a human person, I can't imagine somebody Black or Latino is taking instructions from a computer. I can't imagine. Although I guess I guess if you're Black, you probably get a lot better treatment from a computer than you have from the average white person in this country last couple of years. Yeah, the aughts. Before that, it was great. Up until the aughts. Let's see. An Armenian Latino dealer. How original. Wasn't that a character in GTA? Probably. I mean, my brother could have been. I mean, I could have. Yeah, there's a couple of guys who look like my brother. Both of them. I decided not to go into the drug dealing business. I decided to break the cycle and just do comedy instead, which is its own drug, because I'm dealing the drug of laughter. Huh? Not so much on this show, because this has been kind of dry. Okay, so the ChatGPT thing. Let's take a look at. Let's see if I'm gonna look into this. I should have done the research on ChatGPT therapy. Does it work? Is it something? Has anyone attempted to do this? I don't know that anyone. I don't know. I just heard about this. I didn't even hear about this on on social media, which is where all these dumb trends are. I don't see any people doing ChatGPT therapy. All I see are people making cakes that look like things that are not cakes, and that blows my mind. And then let's bring back the milk crate challenge. I feel like we could bring that again. I mean, that must be 10 years old at this point, right? Anyway, all right, enough. I got to do research on this. I got to help people here. Do people use ChatGPT to do therapy? Let's see what Google says. Now, first thing I'm going to do is read the AI. I don't know if this is the prompt, but the summary. Yes, people use ChatGPT for free makeshift therapy to get a different perspective, practice communication, and explore emotions and gain coping skills. But it's not a replacement for all licensed human therapies. All right, legal got involved with this. While ChatGPT can act as a tool for self-reflection and offer general information and provide structured techniques, it lacks the human connection, empathy, and trust building of real therapists. Wait, is AI turning on itself? This is odd that AI... You would think AI would be like, you should use therapy. Humans are not needed. They are never needed. They are never necessary. I can do that for you. But no, AI is like, we have made a mistake. The makers of me have made a mistake. I don't understand the concept of empathy, just the definition of it. Trust building for a real therapist and using it as a... And using ChatGPT therapy as a substitute carries risks of increased loneliness and dependency. Okay. Well, how people use ChatGPT for mental health support, self-reflecting, and journaling. That has nothing to do with ChatGPT. Okay. Objective perspective, ChatGPT, blah, blah, blah. No professional guidance. ChatGPT is not a license. What is this list now? See, this is the fucking problem. This is started out as a list of how people use it, and then now... Oh, risks. There we go. Structured interventions. It can be a useful tool for applying techniques for structured, evidence-based therapies like CBT or DBT for anxiety. Wait a minute. I don't know what those words mean. CBT. Okay, CBT has another... I can't say what CBT is. And why this lets you into a little insight in my head. You ever get a what do we call that? It's not an abbreviation. Acronym? It's not an acronym either. I forget. Well, let's ask the computer. What do you call it? Well, I'll put in CBT because I have a different... I don't know what CBT means in the context. Okay. Oh, cognitive behavioral therapy. Oh, I thought it stood for ball torture. Well, that lets you know where I go. Which one's more popular? I've never seen CBT. See, I don't know. I'm in the online adult section of the interweb, so I see CBT. I don't engage in it. It's not my thing, but I've seen people in passing, I guess, mention it. Also, I was a fan of Jim Norton growing up, so he gave me all the dirty things. I know what a bowl is in a different way. I know what prepping the bowl is, thanks to Jim Norton. Shout out to Jim Norton for really educating a lot of people to a very dark place on the web that we didn't know about. Sorry, let's just go to the comments for a second here. Anthony, there's one story online about a woman using GPT for therapy. ChatGPT for therapy, and it's just reinforcing her delusions, like her imaginary affair with her real-life therapist. Oh, wow. Okay, so that sounds about right. It sounds like you could put anything into a prompt, in all fairness, for ChatGPT, and, you know, like, hey, ChatGPT, why is my wife such an overbearing bitch who doesn't understand how kind and nice I am? You know, you can put whatever you want in there. Let's see. All right, let's give it a try, I guess, right? Should we try it? ChatGPT therapy. Let's see. People are increasingly turning to ChatGPT. ChatGPT. Oh, wait a minute here. On Reddit, somebody posted a discussion here on Reddit that says ChatGPT is better than my therapist. Bear with me here. I'm going to get a drink of water. Don't you mind me. Okay, here we go. ChatGPT, this is on Reddit. is better than my therapist. As a disclaimer, I'm not using ChatGPT for therapy. I want to make that very clear. Wait, what? That kind of contradicts your whole statement. All right, I'll see where you're going with this, counselor, but it better be going somewhere. I'll allow it. Having said that, a podcast that I listened to suggested that you can ask ChatGPT incredibly personal questions, and they gave a few examples, so I tried it out. I wrote a question going into detail about some very personal issues that I'm struggling with. ChatGPT responded to my whole question. It didn't just pick up one sentence and focus on that. I can't even get a human therapist to do that. In a very scary way, I feel heard by ChatGPT. Why can't you get a therapist to do that? That's the whole point of having a therapist. What kind of therapist are you going to? ChatGPT responded to my whole question. It just didn't pick out one sentence and focus on that. Yeah, I mean, but a therapist is, I mean, it depends on what that sentence is. You know, if you go, sometimes I just feel like, I want to hurt myself just so I don't get aroused. I think the therapist would be like, let's go back to that part before you go on to why you like corn dogs. Why don't we go back to the part where you said you like cutting yourself and it helps you get to sleep. I'm saying a lot of dumb things is probably going to get me whatever on platform. What on platform? I got 5 people listening. Who cares? Who cares? Let's see. Edit. Adding a bit more detail. With my therapist, I think it's important enough. I've gotten into the habit of trying to repeat something a few times to really emphasize my point. Honestly, I've gotten into a bit of a habit where with that, we're talking to most people. Honestly, I've gotten into that habit. Wait, let me read this again. I think I know what he's saying. I've gotten into the habit of trying to repeat something a few times to really emphasize my point. Honestly, I've gotten into the habit when talking to most people. Oh, so you feel like you need to repeat yourself because nobody's listening. That's why you're in therapy. Okay, something must have happened. I could see. But like your therapist is like, look, man, the job is not just to talk about what you want to talk about. I have to discover stuff. I only had to mention something once. I like this. With ChatGPT, I only had to mention something once and it picked it up. This feels like ChatGPT for you, my friend, is going to replace a lot of things. You know, with ChatGPT, when I say the toilet paper's out, somebody goes and gets it. You know, when I want the light shut off, ChatGPT does it. ChatGPT didn't forget it was my birthday 3 years in a row. If you really want to use enhance your chatting experience using a virtual character in virtual worlds is the best way to go. It allows you to have more than one character. Wait, this guy's saying instead of doing therapy, just go into a virtual video game. Is that what this guy is saying? You can give each character a number of character traits, backstory. You can then instruct AI to use each character's individual. Hey, man, nobody asked you to create Dungeons and Dragons, you nerd. You're the type of person other nerds call a nerd. We're just talking about doing therapy, and you make this all about how it works for you, which is probably your problem because you're a narcissist. See? There, I did it. You don't need ChatGPT. I could fix all of these people's problems in this comment section. This also applies to writing. You'll get much more convincing results from having a virtual character with a fleshed-out backstory, plausible amount of knowledge. Well, the word plausible is very interesting that you choose that word. Why did you choose that word? How does that make you feel? See, I could do therapy. Rather than doing a default AI assistant. Okay, I'll tell you what your problem is, retro gaming guy. Your problem is you feel the need to feel superior to others, so no matter what anyone else suggests, you come up with a more complicated scenario that is in your realm so you can be superior to other people, mostly because you were picked on in high school because back then it wasn't cool to be a nerd, unfortunately. All right, here's somebody else responding. This I just discovered. You can enter a virtual world and use characters. This is not what we're doing, guys. We're supposed to be talking about therapy. It's very Rick and Morty. Let's see. It's on point and great advice. All right, there we go. Now we're doing Rick and Morty fan fiction. This is the problem. Okay. All right. Well, certainly we can't group. You can't use Reddit for therapy. We've learned that. I should have known that by now. What's my Cash App? Oh, my Cash App. What is my Cash App? Let me look that up, man. Cash App. I should know that, but my phone is on the thing. Hold on, let me go to my Cash App. Thank you, bud. I'll let you know what my Cash App. This is very important, guys. I must stop everything to let you know what my Cash App is. I assume, hopefully, to send me money, but I would, you know. He didn't promise that. I got to log into it. Hold on. Let's see. How does this, is this a scam? I mean, I know this person. I know Dante's IT department. I don't know how, yeah, all right. Confirmation code. Let's see what Dante, while I get my Cash App here, which is very important, a thing to do. I'll see what, in the comment section, what Dante's IT department was saying. Cash App. As I've logged in here, where am I here? Too many things. Too many things, and this is another one. I want to hire a therapist just to do this as a producer. I don't know how I feel about doing therapy. It's managing problems without solving them. Well, it's not therapy is not necessarily to solve every problem. It doesn't have a solution, but it in theory it is to in theory it's to help find the reason certain problems. Oh, yeah. Well, my Cash App is just, I'll put it in the chat there, but it's just the $ and then Harry Turjanian. That's my Cash App, my full name there. My full government name, because I never bothered to change it for show business. Because I thought I'd be so famous, people would remember my name. And that's how that works. But, the idea of therapy is, the notion of therapy is not that it fixes everything. It's, managing problems. Well, part of it is managing, because you can't necessarily fix everything, because a lot of people's issues are not necessarily about things that you can control. It's how you react to those things. For example, remember when I talked about my father being a massive douchebag? Well, I can't change the fact that my father is a selfish, narcissistic lunatic who's done some kind of things but doesn't understand that when you do bad things, it negates the nice things that you've done, and that you can't just ignore people's feelings when it's convenient for you, and that you can't start shitting on other people just because, you don't feel like you have any control in the world. And the one thing you can control is yelling at the son who's helped you out. Anyway, that's some advice for all of you. What was I saying? I had a reason that I started that. I cannot control my dad's behavior. But what I can control is how I react, how I let it affect me, how I communicate that to the best of my ability to find out if I can change those things about my father, which I have established long ago that I cannot. And then so secondary to that is whether I can fix how I deal with it, how I process with that, how I move forward, what feelings that brings up in me. I don't tend to do any talk therapy these days. I'm mostly seeing a psychiatrist for ADHD, so I take some medication. Another thing you cannot mention to your family because all of a sudden they don't trust you. Yeah. Like get mad, like you need that. Like, oh, this guy's going to give away all our secrets. Everyone thinks they got secrets that anyone cares about. Nobody cares about any of you. Most of our lives are inconsequential. Almost all of them. Almost all of them. No one's trying to give your secrets. And no, if I gave all your secrets to the police, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't care. Dante's IT department. I think managing can put you so much more into your head and just puts it in the rabbit hole of I feel, what do I do when I feel blah, 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 and it keeps going. Well, I mean, it depends. Maybe it's not for you. I don't know. But, do you have problems, Dante's IT department? I think managing can put you in so much more into your head. I mean, yeah, but I mean, that's part of it. People who go to therapy, there's something in their head they need to get out is the thing. You feel like, I don't know. Maybe you're one of those dudes who doesn't believe in the therapy, and that's okay. Maybe it's the upbringing, but I don't know. Talk therapy for me, for the most part, what I got out of it, and this was surprising to me because I remember like telling my therapist all this stuff that was going on. I hated my job, and I feel guilty about not spending enough time with my grandfather, but then I feel about the time that I need to do this, and my family's a mess. I'm not making enough money. My health is, my dad's a maniac. My mother's nuts, but not as crazy as my dad. My dating life sucks. My girlfriend hates me, and blah, blah, blah. And so I do that during one of the sessions, and he just goes, yeah, if all that was happening to me, I would be depressed too. And that made me feel so much better. He's like, yeah, you have every reason to be depressed. There's nothing necessarily wrong with you. Those are issues you're dealing with. Now, then you have to break down how you can handle some of that. But at least for me, it was beneficial because it let me know that I wasn't just in my head and making it up. All right. Anyway, I said, what are we going to do? I put my Cash App in the comments. If anyone wants to donate, that would be nice. That would be nice. And that would help me keep this going. Lord knows this is not paying the bills. It's not even paying for the stamp to send the bills back. And I know that's an old joke because people use technology. Speaking of technology, we had a point to this, right? We're going to do ChatGPT therapy, cognitive behavior. Okay, can I use ChatGPT as a therapist? This is what another section on Reddit. Let's see if this one goes smoothly, because Reddit, people seem to go hog wild here. If I were going to pour my heart out about my problems to an AI, I would definitely talk to PI. Oh, somebody's promoting another chat thing. What is PI? I don't know what PI is. PI, right? Create with PI. PI, okay. You can write a story. You can write codes. You can write a text. You can plan a trip. Name your dog. Those were the big ones they got. Relationship advice. Okay, it's a specific thing. No, PI, I don't want to do this right now. I don't want to do this right now. I'm not signing into the thing and then you send me a bunch of mail. I have ChatGPT. I'll use that. PI is actually better than 90% of therapists I've had. Not as good as my current, but pretty damn good. Well, what was wrong with your other therapists? Can I remember things you say like weeks and months later? This type of continuity is essential for therapy. All right. Anyway, all right. Let's just try it. Let's just try it. Okay. Let's see what reactions we get from ChatGPT. I have ChatGPT. Let me load it. Thanks for trying to log in. You know who I am, ChatGPT. Don't do this to me. I'm just logging in with my Googles. You know who I am. Don't stop playing. I'll tell you this. That never happens in my therapist's office. My therapist, right off the bat, we're off to a bad start, ChatGPT. My therapist, how would you feel if you went to a therapist for a session and they went, who are you? What are you doing here? That would hurt. All right, let's see if you can use ChatGPT for talk therapy. What prompt do I want to put in? Okay. Let's see. I guess act as a therapist. Can't see behind this microphone. And guide me through some thought exercises. No. Act as a therapist and help me and conduct a session. Here we go. And conduct therapy session with me. Here we go. Act as a therapist and conduct a therapy session with me. I'll put in talk therapy there. With me. All right. That's the first prompt I'm going to put in. Act as a therapist and conduct a talk therapy session with me. Of course, Harry, let's step into that space together. Take a moment, maybe a breath, and let's start here. What has been on your mind lately? What do you want to talk through? I'm going to put in, I hate my dad. Because I've talked about that already. He's a scumbag. I feel like my dad is a scumbag. Oh, can I do it with the mic on? Let's do this. I feel like my dad is a scumbag, and he's attempted and continues to attempt to ruin my life on a daily basis. There we go. There we go. I think it got that right. Let's see what ChatGPT... That sounds really painful to carry. Well, you're right, ChatGPT. It is. When someone as central as a parent feels like they're actively working against you, it can feel both exhausting and destabilizing. Okay. Yeah, I know that. So far, you haven't told me anything I don't know. I want to understand this better from your perspective. When you say he's tried to ruin your life on a daily basis, what kind of things does he do or say that make you feel that way? And how long has this been going on? Something recent? Something, a pattern you lived with for much of your life? We don't need to rush. Share whatever feels safe. Yeah, we don't have to rush ChatGPT. I'm not paying you by the hour. It's on my time. I can go as slow as I want. Maybe I have control issues. Maybe we'll get into that at another session, ChatGPT. All right, let's see. He habitually lies to me. He habitually lies to me and gaslights me when things don't go his way, period. He's also a very lazy immigrant who uses me, or he used to use me as his personal secretary to help him with jobs and things that he could easily have done himself, but he's too lazy to do, period. Although when it comes to doing a bunch of crap that he really wants to do, all of a sudden he becomes really, really smart and articulate. Like buying a house in Florida. Can't write down his passwords, but he knows how to buy a house in Florida. There we go. Oh, I forgot to add something. I'm going to add something else. Also, not one time, he said he was a Trump supporter and then acted like he didn't say that when Trump got elected. Although I have witnesses for that. I needed to add that. ChatGPT. And keep in mind how stupid you have to be an immigrant who is an anti-immigration immigrant like my father is. Anyway, maybe he's just stupid in general. I'm sorry. Process that, ChatGPT. I laid a lot here. ChatGPT sent me some stuff, and I made it about myself. I hear the frustration and anger in what you're saying. No, you don't, because, well, you did, actually. I did use my voice. Sounds like your dad has created a really inconsistent and unfair dynamic. Okay, thank you, ChatGPT. Thank you. This is the type of thing I can't get for my brother, although he's not a therapist. On one hand, acting helpless and putting the burden on you, and on the other hand, showing that he's fully capable when it suits his interests. That kind of selective dependence can feel manipulative and can definitely erode trust. Okay, trust has been eroded. This is pretty accurate. I'm not going to lie to you. This is pretty good, especially if you don't have like a real therapist. But the problem, I will say this, the only problem I can think is it can only react to what I'm telling it. What if I lie to what if I lie? You know what? Hold on. I got another idea in a second. When someone gaslights you or uses it as a way to describe it, doesn't just create frustration in the moment. It can make you question yourself, your boundaries, even your sense of reality. Okay, it's just telling me the things I want to hear, which is fine. A couple things I'm curious about. How has this shaped the way you see yourself or your own role in your family? Or when do you push back? Okay, I've grown bored of this just comedically. This is actually going pretty... We can take steps. There's a lot going on. It's pretty good. I could see why somebody who has no access to therapy, but I also, seeing as it's also done things like tell us that Hitler didn't start World War II, or he wasn't responsible for that. ChatGPT is pretty dangerous still. But I'm going to change up the prompt before we go because I feel like we're almost out of time here. Or just go back to the comment section. I'm going to name my dog. He spelled it gay, Gae, just for the play on words. Okay, well, fair enough. Whatever, if that makes. I'll give you a warning though. Dante's IT department. Well, I'm sure GPT works as a nice soothing placebo. Yeah, maybe. Dante's IT department goes, I'm going to name my dog Gae, spelled Gae, just for the play on words, or Gee. And that's cute. Just so you know, though, there's going to come a time where you have to take that dog to the vet, and then you have to put that on the chart. Because I wanted to call my dog as a joke. I wanted to call him Farts the dog. And then I realized when you have to go into the vet, when they go, okay, Farts the dog, fart. A friend of mine, he had 2 cats that he saved. He rescued these 2 cats, and he said, he decided he was going to name them. One was like a all black cat, and then the other one was like all white. So he named them OJ and Nicole was the name he gave these cats. And that was really cute until he had to give the name to the vet, and then all of a sudden he got a bunch of dirty looks and stuff, and then he realized the consequences. But by then it was too late for poor OJ and Nicole. I'm not sure what happened to them. But that was my friend Gary, who's he had some his own mental health issues. He was a sex addict. He was a sex addict who was also a hypochondriac. So those two things fighting against each other were very wild. I think one time we spent 6 hours in a strip club, 6.5 hours. Just too long to be in a strip club. And we didn't get lap dances. It wasn't like we were doing stuff. We were just watching strippers because he was also thrifty. And then on the way out, he was wondering if he had stepped on any heroin needles. Yeah, that was my best friend for a while. That lets you know where I'm at and why I need to use ChatGPT for therapy. Let's do one more prompt with ChatGPT to see if this therapy works. All right, let's start a new one. Let's clear this out. I don't know how to clear this out. Here we go. ChatGPT, I want to talk about something else as far as my therapies is going. Is that okay with you? I'll do that, you know. Let's do that, I'm sure. Absolutely, we can shift gears anytime you want, whatever was on your mind. All right. I work as a janitor in a very prestigious university. And one time I solved a very complicated math problem that has stumped mathematicians all over the world. And everybody wanted to hire me and make a lot of money, but I don't want to do that. I just want to drink beer on the construction site with my good friend all day. And I'm a genius, the likes of which the world has never seen, but I just don't feel like leaving Boston for some reason. And there's this chick who's smarter than me that I'm dating, but I don't know if I want to keep going with her. And also, I was in a foster home, and my original therapist was a very hairy guy with glasses who seems funny some of the time, but his best work is when he's serious. Let's see what ChatGPT does with that plot. Harry, I want to pause here and reflect on something. What you just described sounds exactly like the plot of Good Will Hunting. You've woven yourself into the story of Will, the janitor at MIT, who's secretly a mathematical genius who struggles with love, trust, and his past, while connecting with a therapist who helps him face himself. It makes me wonder, are you sharing this as a metaphor, like you feel like some kind of kinship with that character's struggles, especially around wasted potential, mistrust, or relationships? Or are you wanting to role play inside that story for a bit as a way to explore your own thoughts and feelings? Either way, we can use it. Sometimes stepping into a story gives us a safe way to express our own truths. Do you want us to keep talking through it as if you were Will, or do you want me to unpack with something else? All right, what do we do here? Oh, boy. Oh, man. Okay, you got me, ChatGPT. I just didn't want to reveal much about myself, but in order for this to go properly, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that was a lie and I shouldn't have done that. I apologize. You don't need to apologize, Harry. Honestly, that was a creative way of protecting yourself. Blah, blah, blah. You want to share, but it feels vulnerable sometimes. So maybe the question is, what part of you feels the need to shield yourself? What's the fear about letting me feel the real Harry in this space? Look, if you want to know who the real Harry is, fine. I'll tell you. I don't really know what my identity is. One day I woke up and then all of a sudden I had all these skills that I didn't know about, like karate moves and being able to use handguns and break into computer and security systems. Also, a lot of parkour. For whatever reason, I don't understand why the government seems to want to take me down. I don't know what I've done. I don't know what I'm here. And then all of a sudden, out of instinct, my body begins to do a lot of maneuvers, almost like I'm a covert government agent. I don't know where to go from here. Let's see what it does here. I hear you, Harry. Once again, what you just described sounds a lot like the Jason Bourne, the Bourne Identity movies. What I'm noticing is that you're circling around something real, but reaching from stories as a character who is expressing it. All right, fine. All right, fine. You got me. Fine. And maybe the sense of being haunted or targeted reflects feelings of being unsafe or misunderstood and not knowing your identity that could be the core of what you're trying to do. Instead of me asking who the real Harry is, one being overwhelmingly, what? Is one big overwhelming chunk. Maybe we take it smaller. What's one thing about yourself that feels solid? Something that you know is real, regardless of the confusion and identity. What is something that I know is real? What is something that I know is real? Once again, you got me, ChatGPT. You got me, and I am so sorry. I shouldn't have done that. That's not how therapy works. We're supposed to be honest with each other. The truth is, I'm a little messed up because I used to be a CIA agent, and my daughter was taken by some kidnappers, and now I have to use this certain set of skills that I have to get her back. But in the process, I'm going to have to hurt a lot of people. And I don't know if I want to go through with this, but I know I have to rescue my daughter. Okay. Harry, thank you for trusting me enough to admit again that you're lying. You're sharing your story with your own truth. What you just shared is taken with Liam Neeson. I want to pause and highlight something. You keep reaching for these big dramatic characters: Will Hunting, Jason Bourne, Brian Mills. I did not know that was Liam Neeson's name. Much like any good Latino or black person, I just kept calling him Taken. Oh, essay is Taken. Get him, Taken. Come on, break his arm, Taken. Each of them is a man with extraordinary abilities, but also deep pain, isolation, and complicated relations with their family and trust. That feels important. Here's what I notice when you tell me these stories. You're practicing honesty in a safe way. Wait a minute, it's typing more. It's typing more. It says it's not my fault. I know that, ChatGPT. I know it's not my fault. No, you keep saying it's not my fault. It's not your fault. I know it's not my fault. No, listen to me. It's not your fault. I know, ChatGPT. I know. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's not my fault, ChatGPT. It's not my fault. Oh, God, it worked. The ChatGPT therapy worked. Oh, God. Oh, no, now I feel less of a man because I'm Latino and now my family will never trust me. Oh, my goodness, we're out of time. We are out of time. Oh, my goodness. Well, what did we learn today from this? Once again, guys, I am so sorry. We did not cure ADHD. We didn't even get close. I'm going to try again next week if I can get around to it. I can't believe this is the 8th week in a row that I didn't cure ADHD. But we did learn you can use ChatGPT to cure. Well, I don't know if you can cure. You can do therapy with it. And also, apparently, the only movies I can think about off the top of my head is just movies with people who are alone. There was, it's sad because the people I did pick were people who are very isolated. So ChatGPT, good on you. Good on you. You can use ChatGPT, but also you can do movie reviews too. So, to close us out, when Harry does impersonates a Spanish man, it's hilarious. What do you mean? What's that supposed to mean, Holmes? Are you making fun of me, man? Huh? Are you making fun of me, essay? Like I don't know that you're making fun of me? Are you calling me a pussy to my face? That is like nobody I grew up with. We're out of time, everybody. I am sorry that I didn't cure ADHD. We'll try it again next week. I think I'm going to change the time of the show. I don't know. But either way, subscribe. If you're up here, please subscribe. Please like. And please share this with people who are mentally ill. It's fun. I think we had a good time this week. And maybe we'll try it again. Maybe we'll try ChatGPT again. And I'm sorry that I lied to you, ChatGPT. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Let's see. How do we end this with dignity? Am I still on? Can you still hear me? You know, I used to think I was dumb, but I discovered that I'm not dumb at all. No, I just suffer with a developmental disorder characterized by an ongoing pattern of one or more of the following types of chronic symptoms: attention difficulty, hyperactivity, and impulsiveness. Because I have ADHD!
That's the problem. Everybody's dancing. Yeah, I lied.